Speaking of champions, to winning chips, we are going to the defending champions up north. We the North, who last year we predicted that the six, the North.
Didn't we?
Yeah, we did actually. Toronto is gonna win it in six, at the six, for the six. No need to say any more. I'll let Andrade take the turn over here. What do you think about the Toronto Raptors?
They're gonna win it again. No, I'm just kidding.
Chill. One of our followers might believe you, and he's like a diehard Toronto fan. Shit.
I like this Raptors team. I actually like it a lot. And a big reason I like this Raptors team a lot is because they surprised us. Like, I'm not going to lie, I was definitely one of those fans that going into the season, I thought they were just going to crumble and their ceiling was going to be like, 7th, maybe 6th. That was my take.
Nah, man.
They lost Kawhi and a historical player can builds everybody else around them too, like brings the best out of them.
Yeah, but they still had like a pretty good foundation in place.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we all realized. Like, yeah, it was like a plug-in. It was almost like a Lego. Like, yeah, they lost a piece, but no, that foundation stayed in place. And shout out to the
Nick Nurse,
GM, the president, and the coach. All of them deserve credit. I'll start off with the coach, Nick Nurse, who I believe, seeing how things are going, I do believe he's going to end up being a Hall of Fame coach one day.
Truly
I
a
love the
tell,
fact that he got it out the mud. Like, he was in the D League and he worked his ass up. And look at him now. Got a chip under his shoulder and then possibly looking at going back to back. But even if he's not, he was able to lead this team that everybody was very hesitant on going into this season and leading them to the number 2 seed. Like, what? Leading them to proving everyone wrong. Being able to help develop and now transitioning to the players. Pascal Siakam, who went from a nobody, basically like a Giannis Antetokounmpo type of development. Went from like nobody to, maybe there's some potential, to now being an all-star and now looking like, he might be a potential superstar.
It's looking like that way.
We're seeing where things go. He was averaging more than 20 points this season, so he's looking good. And he's got a great size under him, and he's only 25. So this guy...
Oh, yeah, he's just scratching the surface. Yeah.
And then that team is also led by a very well-seasoned vet in Kyle Lowry. Lowry's 33, so he's not old, but he's not young. He's just right. He's like at that right peak seasoned veteran age that
he's
I think
grown.
Is great for the locker room, exactly. And on the floor, I'm a little iffy on Lowry on how he might perform during the playoffs. So that's something he's always kind of been on and off and a little inconsistent here and there. So that's where I might see their Achilles heel is. And then the potential X factor, because we already are, predict that Pascal Siakam's going to pop off. We got Fred VanVleet, who's another guy. See,
undrafted.
This is what makes this team great. Nick Nurse, Siakam, and VanVleet are all people that...
They already had it in them.
Yeah, and nobody...
Like that chip in
hype, nobody was like, these guys are going to be da-da-da-da-da.
Nah.
But they came out of nowhere, showed up, put in the work, and now they're just killing it.
And they're champions. They already got that. They kind of got that swagger a little bit.
VanVleet proved this year that like his playoff performance wasn't just like a fluke. It wasn't just like a
definitely
trend.
not.
It just kept going. He can definitely be a starting point guard on a shit ton of NBA teams. But that's where I'm also a little worried. How is he gonna do in the playoffs? You know what I mean? And then Norman Powell and Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka I trust more because he's been in the game for a while. Played in OKC. Like he's got. Same with Marcus.
But let me ask you a question. Why would you be worried about that? Okay, look, I understand that Kawhi, he went on a tear and everything like that, but he didn't. If he didn't have the help from his supporting cast, they would not win that championship.
That's true. No, that's true.
And they went all the way, and they faced some tests. If the supporting cast didn't step up, we wouldn't be talking about them as a champion.
All right. Well, okay. Here is my biggest concern with Toronto, because I think I've basically said all the positives. Like they got their vets, they got their young stars. They're a nice little balance. I've said this 1,000 times already in this series.
1,001 more times.
regular season performance does not equate to postseason performance. Playoff basketball is a whole different league than regular season basketball. And we might see this happening with this team as the same way that I feel might happen with the Bucks again. We saw it happen with the Bucks last year.
Yep.
So, like, yeah, when you put forth your maximum effort in the regular season, you're going to get the W's. You're going to have these nice stats. Because guess what? Not all the best teams are putting their best foot forward in the regular season, let's be honest. And then when they do in the playoffs, and also in the playoffs, there's a more physicality allowed and this. Like, it's literally a different game. Things change, and that's when you really see, okay, like, who's an actual legit star player and who's not. And then, all right, you want to talk about Kawhi? This is Kawhi's playoff stats.
Say it.
For the Raptors. And looking back, I should have brought this up for the Clippers too, because, like, there's also benefit for the Clippers, as now it's going to be a lost benefit for the Raptors.
Spill those beans.
2018-2019 playoffs. You want to know his averages?
I have an idea.
You have an idea?
Yeah.
About 31 points per game, 9.2 rebounds, 4 assists, and basically 2 steals. That was his average per game in the playoffs. Kawhi Leonard. Erwin, who's going to fill this pocket, this gap now that's there with the loss of Kawhi?
You see, the reason why that happened with Kawhi is
he's a boss.
He's not only a boss, but he's Mr. Fun Guy. But the returning champion that year, they won back-to-back championships. And whenever a team is trying to win a three-peat, Kawhi is there to stop that.
Okay,
so it's like,
it is his destiny to stop three-peats.
No, okay, but look,
destroy dynasties.
Yeah, I guess so, but that wasn't the best of jokes, but whatever. Good point. That's going to be very tough to stop. But look.
No, not even to stop. That's going to be very tough to fill in.
To fill in, not stop. I don't know why I'm saying stop. To fill in, per se. But something you got to take into advantage right now that's going on with the Raptors that not a lot of teams have, per se. And that's going to definitely carry on in the playoffs. They're not going to need, one person or two people to be hot. The thing about the Raptors is they have several players that can get hot, in a certain instinct. They don't have one or two. Like you were saying right now with the Lakers. It's like, yo, shit. They want to go with LeBron and AD. If one of them are cold, shit, it's going to be an uphill climb. The Raptors, similar to the Clippers, they have a lot of people that they can throw at you. They got Pascal Siakam, which he's made a big jump, and that's going to help fill in a little bit of that void. Because last year he was like a young starter, that he could play. He proved that he could play in the league.
Last year was when he was breaking that.
He was breaking up. But this year, he's legitimately, you can call him a star, borderline young superstar. Who would I put that in that category? I put him in the category of, like a Jason Tatum.
Say Tatum.
I love Tatum, man. You guys, guys are good young star per se.
Yeah.
And you gotta take that into consideration. You also gotta take into consideration that last year in the playoffs, now, while Lowry still had his inconsistent nights, he did have some nights in very important games that he stepped up. Where in the past, you will see Lowry shrink, throughout the whole playoffs per se. Mm-hmm. And don't you think winning that ring, it's gonna kind of elevate his confidence, to step up?
Yeah, him and the whole team.
That helps out as well.
Their confidence in a good way.
In a good way. In addition, the good thing about the Raptors as well is they have people that they can throw you offensively. Vanvleet, Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, Powell. They can they can score and whatnot. But they also have guys that they play very good defensively. And when it comes to the playoffs, defense is gonna help out. And like looking at the way how Toronto plays, is like they play really good defense, and then they go for the fast break points, like quick as hell.
Yeah.
And those I
want to shout out one player, OG Anunoby. He could potentially be like a little X factor to the team, because if he pops off and not nobody, but a lot of people won't expect him, then he can help push this team to the end.
Well, OG is going to be part of the core for the future, because obviously Lowry, Gasol, Ibaka
have those highlight moments. And remember, in the playoffs are all about situations and moments.
OG right now is in the same situation where Pascal was last year. He's kind of breaking up. he's kind of coming out this year per se, because obviously OG didn't need to do anything because he was a rookie, and number two, the person that was starting in that position was Kawhi. I'm like, don't you think that OG learned quite a bit, backing up from Kawhi? But anyways, defensively as well, they got Twin Towers and Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol. Shit, I hate playing against that team in 2K because damn, that paint is closed off with those two guys. With those two guys there, with those two veteran preferences. And like I was saying before, they won that championship already. And quite honestly, yes, the Bucks, yes, the Lakers, yes, the Clippers are like the favorites to win the championship. But these are not super scary teams like the Golden State Warriors. They have obvious flaws that you could expose to them. Yeah, they're beatable. And look, there's no home court advantage either. They've been through the playoffs. This team relatively has stayed intact. They've been together for the past year and a half. They have very good chemistry. That's going to help out in the playoffs. The
chemistry, I'll give you that. The chemistry is, but then also Bucks have very well developed chemistry at this point. So it's like,
but unlike the Bucks, the Raptors have pushed through that wall.
Okay. Yes.
And that kind of could get into your head. And the Raptors don't have that pressure that the Bucks have. Like shit. If we don't get to if we don't get to the finals, Giannis is gonna leave our ass.
Yeah, and like all the media is gonna get on their ass. The fans are gonna get on their ass. No, that's a very good point. You know what? All right, I'll give Toronto a 60% chance of winning the championship.
Oh shit. That means we're definitely winning the championship now.
What would you give them?
No, like I said, the Raptors, I will give them a 50% chance.
I was initially thinking because it could really go either way with this.
It can go.
Some really good points right now.
It can go either way, but
experience matters a lot in the postseason. A lot.
They can I can confidently say the Raptors can go toe to toe with any team. I'm not saying they're gonna beat them, but
I mean, you brought up a good stat. I can't remember it exactly, but weren't they the worst? The worst of the top performing East teams when going against each other?
I believe so.
So like that's something to look out for. That's why I personally can't rely on the Bucks too much because like I don't know, man. I feel like I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a different version of the Raptors coming into
we'll see. One thing you gotta take in consideration, there's no LeBron in the East.
No, that's true. And that was their biggest. I mean,
but to be
maybe if LeBron was in the East last year, they might not have fucking won the championship.
Nah, man, Kawhi is
they could not get over that hump. It was crazy.
Yeah, but
and if it's Lakers versus Raptors somehow in the finals, I will put all my money on the Lakers at that point.
Okay. Anyways, if you want to lose all your money, you talk to Andrade. But anyways, guys.
Yeah. You know what it is.
No, yeah, of course, yeah, I'm gonna do. Anyways, guys, guys already know what it is. We talk deep about ball with BTD, favorite hosts Andrade and Erwin.
Next up, we got
the big boys. We got the Lakers and the Bucks.
Yeah,
man, that's gonna be
Giannis, LeBron, Davis, Middleton. Damn, Middleton doesn't even sound like he fits in that top four.
Pizza? Nah, I don't know. Anyways.
Right, take care. Oh, check us out. Wait, we gotta plug shit in so they don't forget about us.
Oh.
Insta, Twitter. That's it, right?
OnlyFans.